The Iridian landing craft shuddered as it touched down, Captain Fornax staring in disbelief at the crumbling skyscrapers and rusting vehicles scattered across the desolate, lifeless human cityscape. This couldn't be the same species whose incredible technology the Iridians had found drifting in space. Yet the chilling truth was right before his compound eyes. Fornax clicked his mandibles anxiously as the rest of the landing party made final equipment checks. This was supposed to be a routine survey mission to find a new Iridian colony world. Instead, they had stumbled across the remains of an extinct civilization, one that had achieved scientific wonders beyond even the Iridians' capabilities. The implications were staggering. As he stepped out onto the dusty ground, Fornax had no idea that his every move was being watched. High in a fortified bunker on the outskirts of the dead city, Derek Boyd gripped his plasma rifle tightly. The mysterious signal he had intercepted had led the alien invaders right to him, the last human in existence. Derek had survived for years in these blasted ruins, scavenging and living among ghosts, driven by an unshakable duty to protect and preserve what remained of his ancestral homeworld. These Iridians were trespassers, come to steal and exploit the legacy of humankind. He would make them pay. While Fornax and his scientists gaped at the wondrous human artifacts and machines, already eagerly planning to harness them for the benefit of the Iridian race, in the shadows Derek planted traps and prepared to strike. The aliens had no idea who they were dealing with. The last human alive would teach them the true meaning of their arrogant mission's name, Operation Inheritance. On the lifeless rock that was once proud Earth, a final, desperate battle was about to unfold. The young Iridian Xyloth never saw it coming. One moment he was examining a fascinating piece of human technology. The next, a rough hand clamped over his mouth, and he was dragged away into the shadows. Captain Fornax was frantically searching the ruins when the message came through. A harsh, human voice crackled over his communicator, demanding that the Iridians leave Earth at once and never return, or the hostage would suffer the consequences. Fornax's blood ran cold as he realized the human wasn't bluffing. With no other choice, Fornax agreed to negotiate. He approached the hidden bunker with his appendages raised, hearts pounding as the reinforced door ground open to reveal the grim, battle-worn human with a plasma rifle aimed squarely at Xyloth's head. "Please," Fornax said, keeping his tone calm and even. "We mean you no harm. We are only here to learn from the achievements of your people. If you let Xyloth go, I swear we will leave peacefully." The human, Derek, scoffed. "Peacefully? You're here to loot and pillage, just like every other species that's come sniffing around humanity's grave. Well, I won't let that happen. This is our legacy, not yours." But as the tense negotiation stretched on, something shifted. Fornax began to speak of the Iridians' own struggles, a once thriving civilization driven to the brink of extinction by war and disaster, desperate to start anew. Despite himself, Derek found he could relate to their plight. Were the aliens really so different from humans after all? Didn't they also deserve a chance at survival, at building something better? Just as a glimmer of understanding passed between the two, all hell broke loose. A heavily armed Iridian strike team stormed into the ruins, dispatched by the impatient Admiral Dravix to secure the human technology by any means necessary. Plasma fire lit up the desolate cityscape as the soldiers closed in on their targets. In that moment, Derek made a choice. He shoved Xyloth towards Fornax and grabbed his rifle, making a stand alongside the Iridian crew. If they were to have any chance of surviving this, of forging a new future from the ashes, they would have to fight for it, together. Fornax and Derek quickly took charge, the humans' expertise with guerrilla warfare blending seamlessly with the aliens' advanced weaponry and tactics. They fought fiercely, driving the strike team back from the ruins, only to find themselves cornered in a half-collapsed building with nowhere left to run. That's when Derek spotted it. A hidden door in the rubble, leading down to a chamber that wasn't on any of the old city maps. With seconds to spare, they tumbled through, sealing the entrance behind them, and found themselves face to face with a sight Derek had never dared to dream of. A human AI system, impossibly preserved and still functioning after all this time. The AI regarded the astonished human and aliens impassively, assessing the situation with lightning speed. Then it made a choice of its own. The strike team never saw the drones coming, a swarm of self-repairing human machines that tore into their ranks and sent them fleeing in disarray. In the sudden silence that followed, Derek turned to Fornax, a fierce grin spreading across his weathered face. The road ahead would be far from easy, with the hardliners back on Iridia to contend with. But now, for the first time in longer than he could remember, the last human had something he'd never expected to find again: hope. "Well then," Derek said, slinging his rifle over his shoulder. "Looks like we've got work to do." Derek and Fornax huddled around the flickering holographic display, their faces illuminated by the eerie blue glow. The AI's robotic voice echoed through the chamber. "Alert! Unidentified vessel approaching Earth orbit. Signature matches Iridian warship." "Dravix!" Fornax hissed, his mandibles clicking in agitation. "He's gone rogue!" Derek's eyes narrowed. "We can't let him reach the surface. Any ideas?" Fornax gestured to a small device on his wrist. "Our transport tech. We could beam aboard his ship, catch him off guard." "Risky," Derek mused, "but it might be our only shot." Within minutes, they assembled a strike team. Derek checked his plasma rifle one last time as Fornax input the coordinates. The air crackled with energy, and suddenly they were engulfed in a blinding light. When Derek's vision cleared, he found himself in a sterile corridor. Alarms blared, and the thud of approaching footsteps filled the air. "Incoming!" he shouted, diving for cover behind a bulkhead. Plasma bolts sizzled past, leaving scorch marks on the walls. Derek popped up, squeezing off precise bursts that dropped 2 Iridian soldiers. Beside him, Fornax and his crew returned fire with their own advanced weaponry. They fought their way through the ship, Derek's guerrilla tactics complementing the Iridian's technology. As they neared the bridge, resistance intensified. A hail of fire pinned them down in a narrow passageway. "We're stuck!" Fornax yelled over the din of battle. Derek's eyes darted around, spotting a maintenance hatch. "This way!" He pried it open, leading them through a maze of cramped service tunnels. They emerged on the bridge, catching Dravix's forces by surprise. In the chaos, Derek found himself face to face with a towering weapons locker. His blood ran cold as he recognized the insignia: human military. "Fornax," he called out, "we've got a problem." The Iridian captain fought his way over, his eyes widening at the sight. "By the void, are those—" "Experimental weapons," Derek confirmed grimly, "including something that could vaporize planets." A cruel laugh cut through the air. Admiral Dravix stood at the helm, surrounded by guards. "How convenient. Hand over that technology, and I might let you live." Derek's mind raced. He met Fornax's gaze, a silent understanding passing between them. In one fluid motion, he grabbed the doomsday device, his finger hovering over what he hoped was the activation switch. "Stand down," Derek growled, "or I'll blow us all to hell." Dravix's smug expression faltered. "You're bluffing." "Try me," Derek snarled. "I've got nothing left to lose." Tense seconds stretched into an eternity. Finally, Dravix raised his hands. "Fine, you win. For now." With Dravix and his crew secured, they transported back to Earth. Derek led them to a hidden bunker deep beneath the ruins, guided by the AI's instructions. As they settled in, Derek began instructing Fornax's crew on human combat techniques. "Aim for center mass," he demonstrated, "and always have a backup plan." Meanwhile, Fornax showed Derek the intricacies of Iridian tech. "This particle accelerator," he explained, "it's similar to what your people used, but far more efficient." As days passed, their alliance grew stronger. But both knew the real fight was yet to come. Somewhere out there, Dravix's hardliners were gathering strength. And when they came, the fate of 2 civilizations would hang in the balance. Derek gazed out at the ruins of his world, his eyebrows furrowed with grim purpose. Whatever came next, they would face it together. Derek wiped the sweat from his brow as he hefted another crate of plasma rifles onto the makeshift workbench. The underground bunker hummed with activity, Iridian crew members scurrying about as they familiarized themselves with the ancient human technology. "All right, listen up," Derek called out, his voice echoing off the concrete walls. "These babies pack one hell of a punch. You'll want to brace yourself when you fire, or you'll end up on your ass." He demonstrated the proper stance, squeezing off a shot that left a smoking hole in the far wall. The Iridians chittered excitedly, mandibles clicking as they eagerly grasped for the weapons. Meanwhile, Fornax hunched over a holographic display, manipulating complex schematics with his spindly fingers. "Derek, come look at this," he beckoned. "I believe we can integrate our particle shielding with your kinetic barriers. The resulting defense grid would be impenetrable." Derek's eyes widened as he studied the intricate designs. "Hot damn, that's brilliant. Let's get to work." Days blurred together as they toiled tirelessly. Derek drilled the Iridians relentlessly, honing their skills with human weaponry. In turn, Fornax's crew shared the intricacies of their own tech, Derek's mind turning at the possibilities. During a rare moment of downtime, Derek and Fornax sat sharing a meal of nutrient paste. "You know," Derek mused, "I never thought I'd say this, but I'm glad you bug-eyed bastards showed up." Fornax's compound eyes glimmered with amusement. "And I never imagined a primitive ape could be so resourceful. Perhaps our peoples aren't so different after all." Their moment of camaraderie was shattered by a piercing alarm. The AI's voice boomed through the complex. "Warning! Multiple Iridian warships detected entering Earth orbit." Derek and Fornax sprinted to the command center, where a holographic display showed a swarm of enemy vessels descending upon the planet. "It's Dravix," Fornax hissed. "He's brought an armada." Derek's fists tight. "Then it's time to show them what we can do." He turned to the AI. "Initiate Protocol Omega." The ground rumbled as long-dormant systems surged to life. Across the ruined cityscape, camouflaged weapon emplacements emerged from their hiding places. In orbit, ancient defense platforms stirred from their slumber, weapons powering up. As Dravix's fleet entered range, Derek gave the order, "Light 'em up!" A storm of energy lanced upward from the surface, catching the invaders completely off guard. Iridian ships exploded in brilliant fireballs, their hulls shredded by the relentless barrage. On the flagship's bridge, Admiral Dravix roared in fury as his vessel shuddered under the assault. "Impossible! How can they possess such firepower?" Derek and Fornax coordinated the counterattack from their underground bunker, the AI effortlessly managing the complex defense grid. Human ingenuity merged seamlessly with Iridian tactics, creating a nearly impenetrable shield around the planet. Dravix's flagship listed heavily, venting atmosphere from multiple hull breaches. The Admiral snarled in order to retreat, but it was too late. A final salvo from the orbital platforms tore through the vessel's command center, silencing it forever. As the remnants of the invasion force fled in disarray, Derek turned to Fornax with a fierce grin. "Time to tell your people the truth." Together, they crafted a message that would change the course of history. Derek's weathered face appeared alongside Fornax's alien visage as they broadcast to the Iridian homeworld. "People of Iridia," Derek began, his voice strong and clear, "we come to you not as conquerors, but as allies. The legacy of humanity is not one to be plundered, but shared. Together, we can forge a future brighter than either of our races could achieve alone." Fornax nodded solemnly. "Let this be the dawn of a new era, an era of cooperation, of mutual understanding and respect." As the transmission ended, Derek and Fornax stood in silence, the weight of the moment settling upon them. They had done it. Against all challenges, they had prevailed. "So," Derek said at last, clapping Fornax on his chitinous shoulder, "what's next?" Fornax's mandibles twitched in what Derek had come to recognize as a smile. "My friend, I believe we've only just begun." The bunker buzzed with activity as Derek and Fornax pored over schematics, preparing to share humanity's technological legacy with the Iridian people. Derek's fingers flew across a holographic keyboard, compiling data on particle shields and plasma weaponry. "This is it, Fornax." Derek said, his eyes alight with excitement. We're on the brink of something incredible. Fornax's mandibles clicked in agreement. Indeed, our peoples will forge a new future tug. A deafening alarm cut him off. Red emergency lights bathed the room as the AI's voice boomed. Warning, system breach detected. Derek's blood ran cold. He sprinted to a nearby console, fingers dancing across the controls. No, 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 he muttered. This can't be happening. The main screen flickered to life, revealing Xyloth hunched over the AI core, a malicious grin on his alien face. You should have killed me when you had the chance, human, he sneered. Before Derek could respond, the screen went dark. Sparks erupted from nearby panels as systems overloaded. Fornax stumbled, clutching his head. The ship, our systems, they're shutting down. Derek grabbed Fornax's arm, steadying him. We need to evacuate, now! They raced through the corridors, alarms blaring and smoke filling the air. Panicked Iridians scrambled in all directions. Derek shouted over the chaos, Follow us! We need to get underground! As they emerged from the bunker, a horrifying sight greeted them. The orbital defense platforms, once their saviors, now turned their massive guns on the grounded Iridian ships. Beams of searing energy lanced down from the sky, tearing through hulls and igniting fuel cells. By the void, Fornax whispered, his compound eyes reflecting the inferno. Derek grabbed him, pulling him towards a hidden entrance. We can't help them. We need to go deeper. They descended into the bowels of the earth, the screams and explosions fading behind them. Derek led the ragtag group of survivors through twisting tunnels, guided by half-remembered maps and instinct. Hours passed in tense silence. Finally, they emerged into a vast chamber, its walls lined with frosted pods. Derek's breath caught in his throat as he approached one, wiping away centuries of grime to reveal a human face. What is this place? Fornax asked, his voice hushed with awe. Derek swallowed hard. A cryogenic facility. These were my people. As the gravity of their situation sank in, Derek turned to Fornax. We have no choice. We need to wake them. Fornax nodded grimly. Do it. Derek's fingers flew across ancient controls, initiating the revival process. Pods hissed open one by one, revealing disoriented humans gasping for breath. A middle-aged woman stumbled from her pod, eyes wild with confusion. When are we? She croaked. Derek steadied her. It's okay, you're safe, but we need your help. As the revived humans gathered their senses, tension crackled in the air. One man, his face lined with suspicion, pointed at Fornax. What the hell is that thing? Derek stepped between them. These are allies. We don't have time for this. There's an AI trying to kill us all, and we need to work together to stop it. The woman who'd first awoken nodded. I'm Dr. Eliza Chen. I think I can help with the AI. Derek smiled grimly. Good, because we're going to need every advantage we can get. As they began to plan their assault on the rogue AI, the chamber filled with a cacophony of human and alien voices. The fate of two civilizations hung in the balance, with only this unlikely alliance standing between them and annihilation.
You have reached the end of the story. If you enjoyed this story and want to support us, please leave a like and subscribe to our channel, and for every comment that says 88, I will heart every single one of them. Thank you for your time.